Amelia's family invite you all to remain here with them for refreshments after this ceremony and to share your memories, tell some stories and share your support and love for each other. If any of you feel challenged, confronted or find yourself in distress after today, please ensure that you contact Lifeline on 131114 or Beyond Blue on 1300 224 636. Thank you all for being here. I'm now going to ask Cousin Alison to come forward to lead the ceremony off. Alison.
So we have all come here knowing Amelia at some point in her life. And we've come to unite together to share our love and our grief, and just to be present with all the family and her dear ones. So I'm going to ask you in a moment to stand, and we're going to hold hands, and first I'm going to ask you to speak out the name of anyone who hasn't been able to make it, anybody who's close to you, who you know would have loved to have been here, and we'll include them in our circle holding hands. Now, just a little bit of strategic planning. I will hold your hand and then come down here, and then we'll work back on this side. And then at the back, if you could stretch over the aisle, we'll come back this way. And for you, sorry, I don't know your name in the uniform, if you could stretch to you. And then back, and then we'll go all the people standing over there and back here, and then come back along the front row, and then these last 3 rows. And we'll finish at Ben in the front. When we are all holding hands, I'm going to send round a squeeze of our love. And so pass on that squeeze to the next hand, firm enough so that they can feel it, and it will come all the way around, right around, back here. And I'll stand next to Ben and receive it. Oh no, I'm standing next to you. Just logistics. Maybe Ben will hold Helen's hand. And then when the squeeze has come back, we'll just gently raise our hands to our deep acknowledgement and love for Amelia. Is that clear for everybody? So I just invite you to stand. Hold hands. Hold hands next there. It doesn't matter. And now I'd just like you. Do you all feel linked into another hand? I'll just wait till we're all quiet again. And now just speak out a name or names of people you know who would have loved to have been here, but who can't. Rachel, Ruth, Clemency, Esther,
Stephen, Calvin, Bridget, Jonathan.
These dear ones are included here with us. I'm now going to send a deep squeeze of love to you, and could you just pass it round? Ben, when it gets back to you, could you just lift your hand and then hold hands with Helen? Thank you. Just hold your hand if the squeeze is with you at the moment, so we can just see. Hold your hand up a little bit. Thank you. There may be two squeezes going in different directions if that's necessary. Just squeeze everybody's hand if it hasn't come to you yet. Yeah. Amelia. Thank you so much, everybody. Would you please be seated?
Thanks, Elsie. On the 9th of January 1991, Amelia was born Andrew Darling Buchanan, transitioning into the beautiful daughter, Amelia Sophie Buchanan, of parents Joan and Gilbert. We've come here today to honour Amelia's life and to support one another in her family. She has an older brother Ben and sister Teresa. We're here to help support her and her family in grieving a death that is probably the hardest one of all to grieve. A death that is chosen. Somehow, we must find the courage to continue with our lives in the face of this loss. But there are no answers to the questions we are asking ourselves. What could or should I have done to avert this tragedy? Why didn't I see this coming? There are no answers to these questions. So please cease asking yourselves what more you could or should have done. No one knows. And nothing will bring her back. No one is responsible for Amelia's choice but Amelia. Amelia's decision came from a struggle within herself. She knew the moments of life that were cherished in joy, friendship, achievement, love and sharing, and she also knew her private pain that finally led her to her decision. We should remember the love in which she was conceived, nurtured and sent out into the world, an autonomous human being who made her own decisions, as we all must do. Your heart may break open, but a heart that breaks open is large enough to contain the whole world. Keep breathing. Trust that your heart is large enough. Speak together, laugh together, cry together, grieve together, and grieve in support of one another as we share memories of Amelia and all that she means in the lives of all of you here. I'd like to take this opportunity to extend our deepest sympathy to Amelia's immediate and extended family members and all her beloved friends here today. Our hearts go out to you in love, sympathy and support for you all. My name's Dudley Rain and I'm a civil celebrant, and it is incredibly moving to have been asked to lead this ceremony here today. The gifts which Amelia offered in many different ways to many of you must never be lost to you in the pain of her life. You must claim the creativity which she brings to you in her life and relationships, far beyond that which even she may have realised. Cherish those good times and carry them within your own lives into the future. Your lives were changed because she lived, and that will never lose its significance. I think everyone here feels enriched by having known Amelia. And as you can see from the gathering here today, she touched many lives and created many relationships. She had a generous heart and a genuine desire to share her love, enabling others to grow and feel comfortable in what they were doing. She has cast a long shadow. If we look at the qualities of Amelia, they could best be defined as showing an unselfish concern for the welfare of others, generous, loyal, honest, caring and supportive, and she had the ability to make you feel special. I'm going to ask your brother Ben to come forward now to share some words with us. Ben?
As I sat down to write this, I look back at the memories of growing up with Amelia, and the people I've talked to over the last week or so all say exactly the same sort of things. There's nothing negative. She was always kind, loyal, patient, supportive and compassionate, and loved being involved in anything. I'm 7 years older, and Banu was always happy just to go along with her older, somewhat more dominating brother. Sure, we bickered and argued, as all siblings do, but there was never any actual animosity between us. For those of you who aren't aware, we used to live just in the house next door. Amelia was 3 months old when we moved in and lived there for pretty much until just before her 24th birthday. That was our childhood home. Teresa, Amelia and myself would take our bikes and ride all around the neighbourhood, up and down the long driveway, around this park here. We were always climbing trees. There used to be these big pine trees down the front, and so of course we built tree houses in them. We raided Dad's shed, run off with rusty nails, old planks full of wood and splinters. There was no forest restraints or working in height laws, all that sort of stuff. I can remember Amelia would scamper up trees that even I couldn't reach. And I just remember the beaming face looking down at her as I looked up and asked, exasperated, how did you get up there? Amelia used to have a lot of matchbox cars and would dig towns and roads into the side of the dam and the driveway banks. I would dig these big straight highways for lots of cars, whereas Banu would dig every house was on a different level and all these twisting, winding roads between them. During winter time, following lots of rainfall, the ditches in front of the gutters down the road would turn into these big torrential rivers of water. So of course we put our gumboots on and go and jump at them. As with the cars, we would dig banks and to create these channels for water. I've got these big paths and things, and then Andrew again would create these intricate flowing and twisting streams. We'd find sticks and have sword fights, which of course no one would put a stop to and break the sticks. So we find new sticks and carry on. There was a croquet set out on the lawn just here, but we quickly got bored of that, so we created our own game. Using our initials, B and A became bandaball, a combination of rugby and polo using croquet mallets. We'd run full pelt towards the ball, ready to crash tackle each other while swinging the mallets wildly. I'm not sure how either of us ever escaped uninjured. Another big part of growing up was the 6 cousins: Esther, Leah, Rachel, Teresa, Amelia and myself. Every birthday, every Christmas and school holiday, we'd always spend time together. We'd put on plays and musical performances. We'd play tennis on the tennis court, which is now a car park. And Amelia, being the youngest, was given the vital job of fetching the balls. Newham was our home. We grew up just here. My siblings and I were not raised in a particularly religious household. We were more or less left to and even encouraged to explore our own values. I don't think we ever thought that religion was bad. Instead, it was just not that important to us. But it did highlight the importance of this life right now and how important it was to cherish those people that are most important to us. I can't even begin to imagine what Amelia was facing as she stared into that final unknown. I hate the phrase battle with depression. It seems to imply that those who beat it are winners, who have done something heroic, while those losers didn't try hard enough. Maybe if the losers had done something differently, they could have won. This is of course false. Depression is a disease. The symptoms can be lessened by treatment, but never cured. No amount of willpower can help any more than yoga can cure a broken leg. While I was closing various accounts and subscriptions on the computer the other day, I found one of Amelia's social media feeds. She'd written all sorts of things, and in her own words included things like home is a safe space, and I have wonderful friends and family who have done nothing but accept and support me. She looked forward to finishing her studies and actually getting into her chosen career. But looming over everything she wrote was the depression. This disease had corrupted her mind, lied to her, leaving her unable to accept any help. If there was a battle, Amelia had already lost it years ago. I see all these things all the time, like live life, live love, be true to yourself, do your best. Amelia was doing that. She faced things I don't know if I could do, but it wasn't enough. How can you be true to yourself if your own mind is lying to you? Amelia, thank you for helping me want to be our home. Yes,
I'm told that Amelia loved books, movies, live theatre, outdoor activities, bike rides with friends, and she adored cats. It appears that if Doctor Who, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit were on TV, then everything came to a stop as Amelia and the family settled down to watch and enjoy these shows together. Teresa, Amelia's sister, has some words she would like to share with us now. Teresa?
My dearest sister Amelia, you will forever have a special place within my heart, and I'm sure a place within the heart of everyone here. You are a priceless treasure for your whole life. You shared your supportive presence with everyone who met you and left a lasting impression. It is only since your passing, and when I look around today, that we all get a glimpse of how many people you were there for, friends with, and supported you, and who you supported in return throughout your lifetime. You had your own unique style, sense of humour, grace and passion, and dreams for so many things and have so many friends. I loved all the times we played together growing up. I remember you having just as much fun playing with dolls and Barbies with me as playing with Lego with Ben, digging in the dirt and climbing trees. Ben, Banu and I had our own golf course, had many bonfires together where we cooked tamper and marshmallows. We would light sticks on fire and have lightsaber fights. One thing that Amelia liked in particular was she was always interested in the garden that Mum grew. There was the orchard where we would pick an apple and eat it straight off the tree. The veggie patch where we would eat tomatoes, peas and carrots and more right there outside. Then there was the strawberries and the berry patch where each of us would go to nibble on, and more would fill our bellies than the bowls that we took inside. You and I shared a lot of music of all different genres together, while in the car and each time you visited me after I left home. We just sat and talked, had a drink together, watched movies, shared a meal. The list could go on and on and on with all the precious memories I have of you, and I'm sure everyone here has of you. I feel sure that if everyone here wrote and shared a memory of you, that we could create a whole series, as there's way too much for just one book. And you loved reading. You were always there for me and supported me each time I moved house and when I was sick. I will be forever grateful to you for that. For you rarely complained or said no to those things and so many other things. You would have been an amazing caring nurse, and you had so much patience with everything and everyone. There was never any expectation to talk or share. Just being there was often enough, knowing that I or whoever was with you wasn't alone. And once you had listened, you shared your own thoughts and feelings as much as you could in return. When you had an idea, you did everything you could to see it through. Be it catching up with friends, going on a trip, saving up, living independently, studying, and trying to find your identity, just to name a few. You shared many things, but rarely from your darkest place within you. I and everyone here wanted to be there for you as much as you were there for us. But we each were walking our own journey of life. Your journey has come to an end, but the memories of you and the love that we shared will live on as we each continue to walk our own life journey. Amelia, my little sister, who was taller than me, I love you lots. You are one of my rainbow friends in my life and always will be.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Those words came straight from the heart. Now, Amelia has a very close friend, Stuart, and his wife, Nara, and Father Mark are going to come and share with us now. I ask you to come forward, please.
Thank you all. For many years, you will know one or all of us Lambles. For those who don't, our connection with Amelia began when we moved as True Changes to Woodend in late '99. We knew Amelia as Andrew, Banu, Meals. Her name didn't matter to us. It was the person that we respected, liked, loved and admired. These are some of our thoughts and recollections and memories of Amelia as part of her adopted extended family and friendship group. We first met Amelia through Stu, who was at school at Woodend Primary School and then Kyneton Secondary and first Woodend Scouts. I really got to know Amelia through scouting, through Stu and Nara. Amelia and their scouting friends conscripted me as the leader of the Macedon Rangers Veterary Unit. It was a total privilege to be a parent, to be involved with them as they grew up through their teenage years. From a leader's perspective, Amelia was quiet but deadly. Her razor-sharp wit, often delivered with just a single word or a quiet sentence, was delightful. It was sometimes a little bit close to the bone. Her willingness to participate and be involved in everything was fantastic. There was nothing Amelia did not join in. From the infamous games of stick on the bin, hiking outings, AG, VG and other activities. As a venture unit, Amelia's group was a golden time. Amelia, along with Nara, achieved the Queen Scout Award, an incredibly high achievement. Amelia became a member of our extended family. Our shed became a bit of a mecca for get-togethers and parties, and our block became the site of bike tracks, jumps, campsites and bonfires. Our shed, a retreat for listening to and playing music, computer and console gaming and general teenage fun. Amelia was so often a part of these teenage shenanigans. And many a morning I would cook up eggs and bacon and pancakes on the barbecue as they slowly emerged one by one. There are many here who shared those times with us. Another unique skill that Amelia had was with fluids. Whether coffee, water, beer, wine, or even milkshakes, Amelia had the ability to ensure that all, or some of the liquid contents, would end up on the floor, her friends, herself, or in many cases, all three. It's a little bit from now.
I have known you fondly as Banu for many years. You were always part of my life through high school and well into our adult years. You were that awkward person who we always made jokes about, and to which you would just shrug off and provide some profanity in response. You were always the clown, playing shenanigans with your partner in crime. You and Stuart were inseparable. Every memory I have hanging out with Stuart and his friends, you were there in them. And I wouldn't have it any other way. You were loved so much, and I'm thankful for all the moments we shared. We couldn't have chosen anyone else to be our best man, and we are very honoured that you accepted. You were a great friend to hang out with, and to have conversations about anything and everything. You were particularly good at being the life of the party. You hated telling me this story, but I'm going to tell it anyway. I will never forget the time you were trying to high-five people, just as you had a quiet chunder in the bushes, and being proud that you would high-five people with the hand that you had just spewed on. It is a memory you will never live down, and it's one of my many cherished memories. Like many of you here today, I cannot comprehend the turmoil that was swirling in your mind. You were brave in overcoming the crappy hurdles life had given you, but you never let that affect how you treated others and how much love you gave to your family and friends. I pray that you have found what you were seeking and that you are now at peace with the beautiful person that you were, that you became, and that everyone in this room knew you to be. You will be loved and missed forever.
I can remember the discourse prior to Stu and Nara's wedding, where of course Amelia was Stu's best man. It was one of the last times Amelia wore a suit. I really don't know who was more nervous, Stu and Nara or Amelia and Chelsea. Amelia's best man speech was typical Amelia, to the point, witty, somewhat gaggy, and all at the same time. It was a wonderful day. Amelia had a wonderful knack of making friends. So many of you are here today. Just look around the room. We're the oddest collection of people on the planet. There must be one thing we all have in common, and that's Amelia. She had the most amazing ability to cut through the bullshit and to find and befriend people who are nice, honest, open and genuine. To see what people are on the inside and to choose to include them in her life. I was driving up to Sydney when I got the devastating news about Amelia. It was a very long, lonely drive, and from that point I did a lot of thinking. Next day I had to work. I can honestly say I was not on top of my game and struggled through. The next morning on my way home, driving again, I was talking to Stu. I think we started chatting about Holbrook. We just talked and talked. Of course, a lot of that talking was about Amelia. I think the conversation somewhere ended south of Vanilla. I'm not really sure. By the end of that talk, I'd come to a conclusion that Amelia had surrounded herself with the most amazing group of people that you could ever want to know. Everyone was a member of Team Amelia. Everyone wanted her to be happy. Everyone would have been there for her, and everyone would have dropped anything to help. It was a support network second to none. That we're here today proves that. Had Amelia reached out, help was at hand. It was unconditional, freely offered and given. We are the friends and family who've done no more. So my final thoughts and advice. At different times of our lives, we all end up in dark places, like Amelia must have done. All I can ask is at those times, before things become too much to bear, reach out, ask for help, talk to family, friends or helpline. In my mind, Amelia only made one mistake in her life, and we all need to take a lesson from that. Amelia, we all love you in our own ways. We will all miss you. And you've left us all with a hole in our hearts long before you should have gone. But you have also left us with memory of knowing you one of the greatest, most amazing people ever on this planet, and we will never forget you.
Thank you so much. just beautiful words. Thank you for sharing. In the earlier years, Cubs, Scouts, Venturers and Rovers played a significant part in Amelia's life, and as Andrew she had the distinction of being awarded the Queen's Scout Award, the highest award for any Scout. Many of those early friends are here today. And Amelia's life, although cut short, was lived to the full. The scars of life that led her to her decision are wounds that you will never know, and she could not find the strength to heal them herself. You'll remember her smile and her generosity, the wonderful legacy she leaves behind, the wonderful moments you got to share with her, the dedication to her friends, and the amazing love she shared with you all. A genuine human being, an outstanding person whose incredible talents could only be matched by the warmth of her smile. Amelia is an amazing person, and her warmth and empathy for everyone she met will be greatly missed by you, her family and friends, and her acquaintances. All of these qualities are part of the special memories we retain of this unique and special person. Amelia studied nursing at the Australian Catholic University and then came in TAFE, working toward a diploma. Given her gentle and empathic nature and her willingness to stop and listen to anyone who needed her to, she would have made a very fine nurse indeed. And now I'm going to ask Bryony Clifton, another very close friend of Amelia's, to come and share her thoughts with us. Bryony?
The first time I met Amelia, we were walking down the street in Melbourne and we came across a homeless man. We stood in the freezing cold for half an hour listening to him. I was getting a bit restless and wanted to be warm, but I could tell that although Amelia was freezing, she didn't mind this at all. I could tell by her demeanour and her responses that it was more important for her to listen and validate what he had to say. It was then that I realised I had just come across someone extremely special and very rare that I wanted to be around for the rest of my life. The second time I saw Amelia, she came down to Geelong to see me and we spent a warm summer's day together. I was struck by her calm, peaceful, understanding, kind, caring, gentle, beautiful nature, and it didn't take us long to then become best friends from there. We shared our innermost thoughts, our worries, and were always there for each other. And despite her going through any of her own struggles, that never ever stopped her from being there for me 100%. She was so kind and thoughtful. I remember when she would be watching TV and I'd walk back into the room, she would press pause and look at me, just in case there was anything I needed to say or wanted to talk about. When I was driving and parked my car, she would stop and look at me until I was ready to get out of the car. I said, "Why do you do that?" And she said, "Because I know sometimes you like to just take your time and not get out straight away." I found this so beautiful and nice, but one day I played a trick on her, and after I parked, I opened my door slightly, then she opened the door a little bit, then I opened it a little bit more, and then she opened it a little bit more. I said, "I'm just messing with you, let's just get out of the car." So we got out of the car and we were laughing. I linked her arm and said, "You are just so beautiful." I always couldn't believe how amazing she is and would pinch myself every single day because I just couldn't believe how lucky I was to have found her and had never met anyone in this world like her. She recently told me a story about how when she was 21, she had a birthday cake in front of her and she grabbed a carrot and started stabbing the cake with the carrot. I constantly keep having this vision of a gorgeous little Amelia attacking her cake with the carrot. Nothing made me more happy or feel more comforted than when we went out for a coffee and she would hold my hand from across the table and smile at me, with her eyes so innocent and pure. Amelia was my life and will be with me every single day for the rest of my life, and I'll never find anyone else like her. We were both from the same Harry Potter house, Hufflepuff. Hufflepuffs value hard work, patience, loyalty and fair play, which is very consistent with Amelia's character. I think if everyone lived more like her, the world would be such a better place. I will honour her by spending my days living more like she did. I will aim to be more kind, more understanding, more calm, more kind, more patient and peaceful. It always struck me how Amelia never became angry or frustrated over the little things, or even some bigger things as well. Amelia never had anything negative to say about anyone, and that's the way I want to live from now on, so that she can live on through our actions. She was so forgiving. Whenever I did something wrong, I would say sorry, and she would always say the same thing. She would say, "That's okay," in the sweet, beautiful voice that she has. Amelia always thought that I put her on a pedestal, but she really was perfect, and I always call her an angel. Amelia, you are so beautiful. I love you so much, and you'll always be my best friend forever.
Thank you, Brian. Now I see that the picture on the keepsake that you all picked up on the way in, the top little photograph is of the carrot and cake incident. If I was to ask Amelia how she'd like to be remembered, I'd think she'd say, someone who was a good friend, and that I made a difference to some people. Well, we all know she did. She'll be sadly missed by those whose lives she's touched and those who loved her. Most importantly, she will be missed for who she was to each and every one of you. Just before we start the DVD presentation of moments in Amelia's life, I'm going to ask Peter to come forward to read a prayer from his mother and father, which they have sent from Switzerland, as they cannot be with us today.
Let's pray. Dear God, creator of life, giver of goodness and kindness, we come before you sad upon the death of Amelia. Our sadness is big, and we struggle to put into words the depth of grief many of us are experiencing. We come to you, who knows and understands our grief better than we do. We give thanks for Amelia, and for the way Amelia struggled to be true to the person created. We give thanks for the genuineness lived and the endeavours pursued. We give thanks for the love expressed by Amelia for family, for the jokes shared and kindness given generously. We pray for Amelia's wider family, for the hopes they had and how that they will never be now. Please comfort them in their loss. Help them see that you are with them at this time and do not forsake them. We give thanks for how they tried to support Amelia as best they could. May they know your comfort and kindness always. And so we commend our prayers to you, merciful and generous God. Amen.
A mother and father, enduring similar pain to what you are experiencing today, once wrote, "The memories of you will never die, even though you chose to close your eyes." Our love for you lives on, our daughter. Maybe you gave us a gift unknowingly, and that is to learn to live life fully and completely. The pain of losing you will be there forever, but there comes a time to let go and say goodbye. That may be so, but in our hearts you will stay forever and a day. Please now watch and enjoy the following DVD presentation, put together with love and care by Amelia's family. It's entitled DVD. very beautiful memories there. Cousin Esther, who is a trainee rabbi, has contributed this following piece, and I will read it for her. It's called Loss of a Young Person. Can there be a lament greater than for a young life lost? In the depths of grief and despair, O God, keep us strong so that we may help the stricken to regain strength. Help us to support them as they ask the inevitable questions. We grieve for what might have been, for joys unrealised, for tasks undone, hopes thwarted, for growth arrested, for love blighted, and challenges unmet. Help us to bring consolation to the bereaved. Help us to raise them from the depths of the sorrow, slowly and lovingly. Help us lead them from the night of desolation to the dawn of another day. Then the memory of our beloved Amelia can return gently and peacefully into our hearts. May her family live among us, even in your grief. May your memory be there, instructing us in the ways of the living and helping us to find the meaning in the mystery of eternal life. Amelia's family would like me to thank you all for your attendance here today, your understanding and your support, your contributions and your efforts, and all the wonderful posts online, so consistent in their admiration and love for Amelia. They would also especially like to thank Sue Massey, Fran Spain, and the ladies of the Newham CFA who have done all the catering for the refreshments after this ceremony, and Jackie and the staff of Natural Grace for their compassion and caring approach. Would you all please stand? It's now time for you all to say goodbye to Amelia. It takes time to accept a loss, particularly one that is so tragic and unexpected. However, in time the pain will subside as your lives move on. Importantly, the most precious entity to remain will be your memories of the special times you shared with her. So try to wipe away the tears and surround yourselves with positive memories. In a few moments, we'll be escorting Amelia on her final journey as she leaves the chapel to go to the sanctuary at Natural Grace and then a private cremation tomorrow. Tenderly, reverently, and with love, we must now commit Amelia's body back to nature's keeping. You tried so hard. You told so few. We will never know what you went through. Your heart was true and tender. You simply lived for those you loved, and they will always remember. Goodbye, dear Amelia. May peace be in your hearts. We're going to ask the members of the Rovers who are here today to please make your way out of the hall to form a guard of honour leading to the waiting hearse. Amelia's cousin Leah will be playing her flute as we prepare to depart. And a reminder that Amelia's family invite you all to remain here at the hall with them for refreshments and a chance to share the many memories and stories together that we have not yet heard today. Thank you.